Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mummy Means Business podcast. Today, I'm really excited to be joined by a special guest. Her name is Katie. Katie is a mother to a handsome little boy, as well as being a full time doctor, and she's the founder of an online community called Mum's Pride, which you can find on Instagram and on WhatsApp. So, hi, Katie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
By the way, I have my son with me, so if you hear any noises, it's because he's just moaning. And there happens to be some construction work that's happening right next door early in the morning. I have no idea why. So if you hear some drilling, it's them as well. But hopefully that doesn't get in the way of our sound. But yeah, thank you so much, Katie. Katie's actually a friend of my husband's, and through that we kind of became acquainted. She's actually my neighbor.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then we became friends through there. She's a really lovely girl, and I just thought it would be great for her to share her journey because just a little I've heard of her, I'm just thinking, wow, I don't know how she kind of manages all of it. So it'll be great to kind of for her to share her journey into motherhood. So yeah, how has your motherhood journey been so far? Like from when you got pregnant, your whole pregnancy, your birth, and so far, raising a son. How has that been for you?
Well, um, it's been different, I would say, just because my son is 7 years old now. So taking you back 7 years ago, things were quite different from the way it is now, support-wise as well.
Yeah.
So I got pregnant when I was in third year of uni, and it was, yeah, medical school, and there was no one around me that was pregnant. Or pregnant in uni. Like you never heard of it. You were quite young. You don't hear about those things. So it was a bit of a culture shock, I have to say.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, because like I was very much involved in different societies, from gospel societies, ACS societies, sports. I did voluntary, so I was very, very busy. So then when I got pregnant, it's like, well, I can't do any of this anymore. So to see me walking around with a big belly from lecture to lecture, from from one meeting to another, it was, I can say, embarrassing sometimes, but I just had to fake it till I made it. Like I'm a good fronter. I front a lot.
And this was like your
So,
last year as well, like you're about to
uh,
finish.
so I was in the middle actually. It was third
Okay.
year. So I still had my fourth and fifth to go through,
Mm-hmm.
but my uni was supportive enough to say, do you know what? I was pregnant around summertime. So when I went back, I did one term. So I did September to December. And then they said, take the year out when you give birth and then come back to finish your other two terms.
So
So
you
there
got
was,
your you kind of got a maternity leave almost
I
from
did.
uni.
I did. Yeah, from uni. I did. They gave me no option, really and truly. They said you either take 2 weeks off or the whole year. And I was like, I'm not popping this child and coming back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's the thing. When I stayed at home, I don't know what maternity leave means. I don't know what it means to stay at home. I've been going to school since I was little. So that was difficult. I didn't have many people around me. Um, I think the difficult part was to break the news to my family and friends, because they didn't see me as, I don't know how to say it, but like that girl that goes around sleeping around, gets pregnant, and all of that. I was very much about my books, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So my family was very much shocked about it, drama.com. Uh, but the good thing is that the support came gradually, bit by bit. For some reason, I felt like there was a virus going around. So once I said I was pregnant, this girl, that girl, that girl became pregnant. And I was like, I don't know what kind of flu's going around right now. But that's how I then started the support group, because I felt like, okay, I do have few friends that are in similar situations. My mom was my soldier. I do have to admit, I put on 15 kilos. I went to size 18.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a size 18. I'm now a size 10 and I was a 12. And My confession is pounded yam.
Do you know what? Same thing with me. When I was pregnant, all I wanted to eat was pounded jam. Like literally in the middle of the night, I would tell my husband to go to Tasties around near my house to just get me pounded jam and effort. That's just all I wanted. So I think it's a boy
Oh,
thing. They just wanted that meat, that substance, so that when they come out, they're strong immediately.
yeah. Do you know my son eats pounded yam at least once a week now? Life doesn't make sense if he doesn't eat pounded yam. So I think that's how he grew so much.
Oh my
But
God.
it was to me at that time. I thought it was my way to, I don't know, to de-stress. Even chewing was tiring for me. I was feeling very low, because I did feel alone. My mom was there for me, but she was working as well. But just the fact that I didn't plan this. I'm in
Yeah.
uni. What kind of life am I living? Like I'm meant to finish, get married, then have children. So this really, in my head at that time, messed up my whole plans and messed up my life. So it was part of my coping mechanisms to just eat. Um, oh, I feel a bit weird even thinking about it now. But I was just
Oh,
eating. I was comfort eating a lot. I was very emotional throughout my pregnancy. I didn't have the opportunity to, do the photo shoot, do the, all the things that all the Insta mummies are doing now. I couldn't do it. I was in no position to do it. I wasn't even working. So I felt very isolated. And even if my friends did come and visit, it still wasn't the same. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to say. It's not like now you know what to do if your friend gets pregnant. At that time, everybody was like, I don't know what to do.
yeah.
Um, and then you have the people judging you. You are meant to be a doctor. How did you end up here? I had African aunties telling me, "Don't you know when your period is?" I was like, "Well, I guess not, auntie. I guess not."
You know, sometimes they don't know what they're saying. They just say things and they don't know how it will affect you. Especially being pregnant, being hormonal. Like when I was pregnant as well, there was times that I literally felt like alone. Like I was walking around, like I had a really good pregnancy, thank God, and I had some support. Everyone was excited, they were all happy to have this baby. But there are times where you're just like, ugh, just feel. You don't. I don't. I think mine was that I felt like something took over my body. Like
Mm,
I didn't have my body anymore. My body wasn't mine. I couldn't wear the clothes that I know this is really vain, but literally that was my thing. I couldn't wear the clothes that I wanted to. I
mhm,
couldn't just go and do anything that I wanted to. Even after having Xavier, it was really hard for me to adjust. Even up to now, I'm still kind of adjusting because to my body, like it was hard for me to even look in the mirror sometimes.
yeah.
Like when I wear certain clothes, I just felt like it's never that I felt big. I just felt like I wasn't myself. Like,
Yeah.
not what did this kid do to me, but almost like what did you do to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so
It
like
happens.
I can't imagine your pain, man.
It was hard. It was emotional, but then I think that's where my drive was. I have to finish medical school. I didn't give myself an option. So when people are like, "Oh, how did you do it in uni and having a child?" Because I did go back to uni when my son was one, so I was still going to uni, doing my lectures. He was in nursery. Nursery was not cheap. Yes, you get governmental funding for some of it, but I had to use my student loan to pay for the rest of it. I moved out, so I was living by myself. I had bills to pay. So it was, I had to grow up really, really quick, really quick. Even when I moved in, it was just me, my son, and my mattress. And I would just be staring at him like, I'm sorry, like, this is not how I should bring up a child. Like, I'll be crying. I'll just cry.
Oh,
It was hard. And when you have big dreams and you know how you can achieve them, and then something just takes you left, you're just thinking of how you're going to get back on track. How long is it going to take you to get back on track? But then every time I get a chance to reflect, I'm always like thankful to God because it could have been worse. There's people that are in worse positions than you. And the fact that by God's grace, I finished at every year, I didn't have to retake the year. And now I'm working, it's just like, well, I can't really tell you how I did it. God did it. You should ask him.
I'm telling
I,
you,
I just don't know. It's been a journey because every stage is different. And I'm sure, like, even with your child from birth to now, he's changed. His
completely.
requirements are different. Your routine is a bit different. So I had to go through that while focusing on my final exams. and try to still live some kind of life. And I think that's what my focus is right now, to try and live a life that doesn't evolve around your child.
Mm. That is actually very, very important. And even I'm even learning it myself now slowly. I think mine was the opposite almost. Like I had such a selfish life before I had a child that is now I'm only now realizing, sorry, my he just hit my microphone, but I'm only now realizing that actually I need to do stuff to benefit Xavier. Like I still sometimes live a selfish life. I still sometimes do things selfishly, forgetting that, I do have a little boy. And actually
Is
was
it
there
selfish though?
no, but mine was too extreme, like to the point where last week, I think I learned it last week because I went out 4 times, 5 times in a row, like every day back to back, just going out with my friends and whatever,
Mhm.
which was fine. But then Xavier got a cold because I was just moving him too much, just going around, bouncing around too much, and not really catching the balance. Like I haven't really caught the
Yeah.
balance between still having my own personal life and still doing my things for myself, as well as still doing things for my son. So, some people have the opposite, where I had a friend who basically said that, for almost 3 months she didn't leave the house. Almost 3 months she was literally just with her child, just consumed with her child. Every day was about her child. There was some days where she wouldn't bath, she wouldn't brush her teeth because she was so consumed by him, and she didn't know how to, do stuff for herself. Whereas
Mhm.
mine is the opposite. I'm just like, oh yeah, even though I have a child, I still want to be myself. I still want to do
Still
this
the
and do
baby
that.
girl.
And yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, the baby will just come with me. The baby's just a purse, not knowing that, Xavier still has needs as well. So
Right.
mine was opposite to you. But how has motherhood changed your life completely? Because you mentioned that it forced you to grow up. But
Yeah.
now reflecting back, obviously your son is so handsome, guys. You should see him. Such a handsome boy. He's tall as well, handsome boy. But how has he changed your life?
Um, so I've always been daddy's little girl since ever. I can confidently say, and I don't care if my sister argues, I'm the very one. So, so basically, I had a very cushioned life, but so I was born in Italy, grew up in Italy, came here when I was 13, and in my eyes as a child, I lacked nothing when I was there. Looking back, I'm thinking, no, my parents struggled. My dad was the only one working. My mom was a housewife. And so my parents struggled, but as a child growing up, I had everything that I needed and more. So when I had my child, it's like, hold up, this does not fit. It doesn't fit. Like my parents still gave me dinner money. I'm not ashamed to say that they gave me dinner money while I was in uni till I got to uni. So my EMA money, my mom took my card so then I can save it, and I used my EMA money to actually pay for the flooring in the flat that I live in now.
Mm,
So my parents did everything for me. Like they paid, even when I was in uni, they paid for my travel cards. So when I had my child and then I had to start doing things myself, it's like, oh, daddy, you're not gonna pay for this? Okay. And that's like, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with my life. It literally was a switch. It was a switch. Like once I got pregnant, because so that's the thing. When I first got pregnant, I have to be honest, I wasn't gonna keep the child at first. I wasn't, because like I said, it didn't fit my plan.
yeah.
So in my head, I had exams coming up, so I was like, I don't have time to think about this child and motherhood. I don't have that time. But then when I made that decision, I was like, well, if I'm doing this, I need to have everything in place. So I didn't even tell my mom until I spoke to my uni, I did my research, and I knew what my options were. So I had to make that switch of if I'm doing is actually when I spoke to my best friend's mom, because when all of this happened, I have to be honest, I wanted to run away. I had a one-way ticket to Italy. I was gonna be like, deuces, y'all, I'm out. I'm I'm not gonna deal with my dad. My dad, typical African man. No, thank you. I was like, no, I'm out. And I actually spoke to her and she was like, you need to, first of all, running away doesn't mean anything because you're coming back. Second of all, you need to be able to do this with knowing that it's just you and God, and everyone else, including your partner. I was with my partner at the time, including your partner is a bonus.
Mm,
And I still hold on to those words till today, because I had to gather myself up and said, okay, Katie, you can do this, and you're doing this on your own. Now, if my mom helps me do panadiamo, if somebody comes and visit, all of that is extra. It's a
Yeah.
bonus. And that's why to me it was a switch. It's not like I grew into it's not like I grew to being a mother. Although that still makes sense because the stages are different. You learn as you go along. You can read books from morning to evening. Nothing will tell you how to take care of your child the way you are, the way life is going
100%.
to teach you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But that switch happened because I had to now be an adult. I had to pay bills. I had to take care of myself, my mental health, plus my child. And I wanted to be better than my parents were to me. As much as I felt like I had everything, my parents were African. So we can make a whole list of the things that I think they did wrong. Let's be honest. So I wanted to be a better mother and I also wanted to be a positive person. And I made it an active thing for me to, whenever someone's around me, I want them to be happy. I want to make them happy. And that was my drive.
So was it hard? Like, obviously, you mentioned that you had your baby in your third year. So this was in the middle of you finishing, was it medical school?
Yeah.
Yes. So, but was it hard pursuing the career as a doctor? So once you completed medical school, you graduated, you still have your son, he's still quite young. Was it hard kind
Yeah.
of keep pursuing that career whilst raising the child?
It's still hard. That's the honest truth. It is still hard because the way the system is built it's not for mums, hands down. It's not for people with children. It is you still you still have that mom guilt. You can't get rid of it. You can
Yeah.
manage it. And it's a topic that speaks to my other mom friends. Like you can't get rid of mommy guilt, but you can learn to not let it affect your day to day. So one thing I've learned to do is to leave my problems at home. As soon as I get to work, bang, I'm a doctor. But I'm still a mom. And I use that to my own advantage. So I'm more compassionate, I'm more caring, I'm more organized. I don't have the fear of dealing with kids or dealing with mothers or seeing a pregnant woman or doing certain things. But the difficulty is the fact that I missed out on parents' evenings. I missed out on picking him up and dropping him off. I was the ghost mom. One time I picked him up from school and they were like, "Oh, where's your mom?" I'm like, I'm right here." They thought I was his sister because I'm
Oh.
mom. They didn't know who my son's mom was because I was never there. I always had childminders. I had after school, preschool club picking him up. I even had a driver at one point because he was going to a far school. I had a driver that I paid to pick him up and take him and bring him back. And it was a struggle. I asked myself all the time, like, why am I doing this? Why people do it part time. But let's be honest, part time is not for everybody. I can't afford the part time lifestyle. That's my honest truth. If I go part time, yeah, I spend more time with my child, but then the cut in my pay, it's a lot, and I'm a single mom. I can't for the things that I want to do. It's not the right thing for me. And most of my friends at work are part, and their moms are part time. I think I only know like a couple that do it full time. So for me, while my parents are around and my family and friends are still supporting me, I'm doing this full time because I want to finish this quickly and then I can have more time to do what I want to do.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's actually really interesting to hear because it's hard, like it's hard to kind of say, I want to do this job full time. I'm a mum, my child is first, but I need to have a full-time job. So there's something that needs to give, something that needs to be sacrificed almost. And it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that my son is being sacrificed, but we just have to find a way to work around me still working, but still being there for him, which is what you're doing. And it's never ending, is it? You're never gonna catch that
Uh,
middle ground.
there was a time that you have to take 8 weeks off. It's part of our uni course, where for 8 weeks you need to go in different parts of the world and have some experience, medical experience. And it was so funny because when it came to it, like I always have to think, okay, but I'm a mom, I can't travel. I'm a mom. How am I going to be away for 8 weeks? Like, so everybody, it's so funny. Like, not to sound rude or anything. No one ever questioned his dad. Oh, what
Yeah.
you do? But everybody was looking at me like, yeah, yeah, of course she's going to stay in London. And I was like, why do I have to be the boring one? And it was thank God to my clinical partner at that time. My friend was like, no, Katie, we're going. I'm from India. I'll take you to my house. and then we'll have experience over there. And it was so hard. I cannot remember how many times I cried because I felt like I was abandoning my child to have fun. I'm being irresponsible if I travel. But it's not like that because the benefits I got from it, you can't buy that. You
Mm.
can't buy memories. You can't buy experience,
But
you know?
did you ever have a point where like you wanted to give up on following,
Is it
this
one
path
point?
of being a doctor?
Many times.
Like
Because,
you
and
just
it's
want
not,
ever want to do something easier rather than just,
yeah.
following this.
The amount of times that I'm just like, can I just stay at home and trade from my bed and make money?
Bruv,
Like,
if I can if I can make money without leaving my house,
oh my gosh.
that is the
But
dream.
even my cousin today, she was like, yeah, I'm working from home. What does that mean? I can't work from home. I just finished my night shift. I can't work from home. I can't do this. My mum had to take my son to school this morning. I can't do that. And it's a process I have to go through. And that's why when it comes to career, I had to think of what career, because even you do medicine, but you can be a surgeon, you can be in anesthetics, you can be a GP, you can be different things. So I chose the career that will give me that work-life balance because, and that's why I'm a GP trainee. So I can work wink wink 9 to 5. I don't have to work the night shift. I don't have to work the weekends. I can go part-time and still be financially stable. So all of that put together as well made me go into the GP, and also because it's the short, it is quite short to train, whereas other specialties you have to do it for like 5 7 years. This is a 3 year course. So if I'm doing it full time, I'd rather do 3 years. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has shaped my decisions. Um, but it's a continuous struggle. Like even tonight, I was like, why am I here? Why am I here when I can just be cuddling my son? I feel like I miss out on so much. But then that's why I spend a lot of time traveling with him. When I'm around, I stay at home with him and I do activities at home. We'll have a Avengers Day where we watch the movie, we paint the drawing, and we read a book. So I try to make my impression whenever I'm at home. Or
Mm.
I thank God for the job I have. I'm able to take him traveling. I'm doing a tour of Europe this year. So every month
Yeah,
we're
I
going to.
saw. You guys went to Norway, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
It looks really nice. It looked really beautiful. I was preying you on WhatsApp. I was like, wow, enjoying. But it's true what you said, like even though you are working full time, when you are at home, you make those moments count. You really make an impression on your children to give them those memories. Because I remember, when my mum was working constantly, all what we can remember is we always had our family dates. Like we'll always go out cinema. Literally, we'll go out cinema. We'll go to Pizza Hut and we'll come home. And that might not seem like much, but that is like a tradition that we're still doing up to now.
Oh,
Like,
that's amazing.
every so often we're like, okay, let's all go to cinema to watch the latest movie. We'll go to Pizza Hut, have some pizza, and then we'll just come home and chill. And that is actually those memories because my mom was a nurse as well, so she was working crazy hours. There was days that 5 days a week we won't see her because she'll be working all day. We'll be going to school. By the time we come home, she's gone back to work. Like we will literally keep missing each other. But when she was at home, she made sure that she made those imprints on us.
Yeah, and
So,
it's
which is
hard to do
important.
that. It's hard because that day that you just want to stay at home and sleep, that's when like Christian comes up and it's like, Mom, the sun is up. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not up. I promise you. Like, go back to bed. And it's hard because you do, even chill days are still good days, and I feel like because I speak to quite a lot of moms and they feel like, oh, they can't do it. And it's like, you need to make it your own. I To me, I thank God that I'm able to travel. But if I couldn't, I would do something else at home. I don't travel all the time. People think, oh yeah, you're a doctor, you're rich. No, I am not. I am not. But I just manage what I have, and I can even go to the park right in front of our flat and then spend the day there, and I'll buy him some skates and like the little is what counts. As
Yeah.
kids, they don't need much. I do dates. Like you said, I take Christian out by myself. We go McDonald's, we have dessert. Just me and him. And it's like, Mom, where we go? It's like, no, it's me and you. I want to know about what you're thinking, what you're feeling. I am trying to invest as much as I can because, and that's what my parents didn't do as much. Um, like, they don't really talk about emotions. But I want to know what you think, because you spend most of your time in school. When you come home and you start talking the same way, I know I'm not the one who taught you that.
Yeah.
So how am I gonna get to know you? And I do want to be like a mini best friend, but then drawing the line as well is very important. So it is a continuous struggle. Like, even now he's 7, but he has the mind of a 15-year-old. He
I'm
talks to
telling
me like,
you.
sometimes I'm like, eh? If that if I answered my mom the way you just
I'm
did, my goodness.
imagine. But realistically, like being real, how crazy is it to manage the long, hours, the long working schedule while having, a young child? Like what will be like a week for you?
Well, so that's the thing. Every week is different. Um, I just had I just had the weekend night shifts, for example, and they're 12-hour shifts, but they're actually 13 because you have handover before and after. So because I'm busy, I don't think about it as much. If I have to be really, it's not like it comes to me like, oh my gosh, I miss my son right now. It's not always like that because you're busy. You're busy seeing someone. I'm dealing with emergencies. While somebody's about to die or is crashing or is unwell, you won't be thinking about your son right there. So that's why I mean, I leave my emotions at the door when I enter, but then when I have my downtime, that's when during my lunchtime I go through all my pictures from 2012. I'm like, oh my gosh, look how cute he was. Or like now he can write on WhatsApp. So he will WhatsApp me through my dad's phone, or we have Skype. So sometimes I Skype him. So that's how I get my bits and bobs in. Or but sometimes it's hard. Like I was working in pediatrics, so for 4 months I was seeing kids. And I'm like, well, I have one too, but he's not here. So
Oh.
it is sad. It is sad. And yes, I have cried. I think once every 4 months I cry.
Or like
Every
in the
time I
hospital
change,
while you're on
yeah,
shift.
I go to the toilet, I cry. I remember there's one particular toilet in Medway Hospital. I just go there and cry because I'm just like, I'm tired. I am genuinely tired. And I'm even tired of saying I'm tired, but I have to do it. I have no choice. First of all, if I don't work, I don't get paid. If I don't work, I'm not going to be a GP. And I just keep reminding myself of that goal. And I think what also helps is the moms group that I've created, so I can just vent there. So yeah, so all of that has helped me, and I think that's why support is very, very important.
So you have another business venture as well called My Mum's Pride. What was the inspiration behind that?
So it all started that time that Christian was first born at the beginning, and I was staying with my mum, and I remember doing the night feeds. She basically slept on the side of where the cot was, and she was like, I'll wake you up if any need, because I prepared some bottles for him, um, because I was just really, really tired. Um, and the thing is that she still had to wake me up. So I felt like it doesn't matter who's around me, I still have to do it. I still have to be the one to be a mum. I can't press pause and hand over to someone. And I had a partner at that time, but I still felt alone. So I felt like I didn't want any other woman to feel this way. So I wanted to create a group where people can share the experience, learn from each other, and support each other. But because I was still in uni, I couldn't do it because of time. So as soon as I graduated, I literally created a WhatsApp group like you normally do with your friends, and there was about maybe 5 of us. And then by word of mouth, we just kept growing, 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 and we have about 120 people on WhatsApp now, which I didn't even imagine it to be like that, to be honest.
That's
Um,
amazing.
it's Trust me. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're all talking. It's so weird, but I'm just so thankful because it shows that this is what was meant to happen. Like
Mm.
from a Christian point of view, to me, it's like this is why I'm here. I don't know, it sounds weird for maybe someone that may not understand the whole spiritual side of thing, but I feel like that's part of my purpose, that I need to be here to create opportunities for people to be empowered. And then that's how we just went on Instagram as well.
So it's important to you to kind of support and encourage other mums through this journey, because obviously you've had times where you felt alone.
Absolutely. And also, I have this thing of I don't like to be told I can't do something. And it really, it boils me, not in the wrong way, but it boils me up when I hear a mom or someone that's like, oh, because I'm a mom, I can't do that. Don't say that to me. Because you're now on my list of people that need to make sure you're going to do what you said you didn't think you're going to. Because, like, I just thank God that my story can inspire someone. You know, I'm a doctor, I'm a mom, I'm single now. Like, it's not. It's not what you would expect. You know, a lot of people drop out of uni, but in my head, it's like, well, that's not an option, first of all. Um, and it's God's grace. Like I'm trying to show people that I didn't do it by myself. Because if I did, believe me, I would have stayed on that floor crying like I was months and months ago. But it is the push and the strength that comes within that will allow you to get to even a better place than what you were hoping for. I thought I was just creating a WhatsApp group of 10 people. Now we have 120 and we have Instagram, and I've met many other people on Instagram. We've done a conference, we've done so much. So I'm just so grateful. And that's why I really want to encourage someone to not limit themselves because of their situation.
Do you know
So,
what, the message that I get from everything that you're saying that is actually really, really important to say is that before you were a mum, you're still a person, you're still a woman, you had dreams, you had, things, desires. So you still have to be an individual as well as being a mum, which, is something that people still struggle with. And I actually really enjoy, I follow your Instagram page, Mum's Pride, and I really love your messages. I really love the things that you put up. Some days you just look on Instagram, you don't even know how you're feeling, but some of the messages that you guys put up, it's really, really encouraging. So if anyone's listening to this podcast and they're a mum themselves and they really want to follow like an inspirational mum group, quote unquote, make sure you follow Mum's Pride. Um,
thank you
no,
much.
definitely. And even when you came to my house the other, I think no, that wasn't the first time I met you. I think probably like the third time. But you came over to the house.
Yeah.
I was pregnant then, and then you were talking to me about the Bible study groups that you host, and you
Yeah.
kind of have mums kind of just come to your house and you just chat about God as well as motherhood and stuff like that. And it's like just having an outlet. A lot of people don't really speak about the reality of motherhood. People just tell each other the glossy bits, or if they are like, even me sometimes when people ask me, you okay, Baba? He's just fighting his sleep, so ignore him.
Oh,
So yeah, even me, when people ask me how's motherhood, I just tend to say, yeah, it's okay, it's got good times, it's got bad times, but it's fine. But like, you don't really dive into actually, yesterday he didn't let me sleep, he was just moaning the whole time, or actually he has really bad wind, or just
yeah.
like little things. And to hear, okay, what did you do to help your son? Like, what did you do to help your daughter? Maybe I can get those tips. So it's good that you're building these communities of just like a safe place for people to just
Yeah.
talk, basically.
Yeah. And it wasn't easy because a lot of these moms, I've not met them face to face. It's someone's cousin, someone's friend, or someone on Instagram that sent us an email, a DM, because we also have a website. So it's from different avenues. But what I do want to create is a non-judgmental group, a non-judgmental vibe. I think when people hear support group as well, they immediately think, oh, you're single. You're all single moms, because it's only single moms that need help. And it's like, no.
No, that's not true.
No, that's
I'm a married mom and I need help too.
I'm telling you, like a lot of people, they're just like, oh, I thought it's because you're single. And I was like, first of all, I started this while I had a partner. Second of all, I actually did start this with my cousin who is married. And then after, when I changed it to, it was called Yummy Mummies at first. And then we decided to revamp it. And then that's when I made Mom's Pride. And she wasn't able to continue being part of the organizing part of it. So people are married, people are single, people in relationship, but we all need that help. We all, like, you can literally mention anything at 3 a.m and the breastfeeding mom will reply you. That's how lovely it is. Like, we are all building a sisterhood, that community. It does say it takes a village to raise a child, right?
Hmm.
But it also takes a whole village to keep a mom sane. That's how I see it.
That's really cool, actually. And it's good to hear it from that perspective. Actually, it takes a village to keep a mum sane. That we need to make a T-shirt out of that.
We should.
Should put it on a shirt, something. So yeah, so thank you so much, for being on this podcast. It's actually been really interesting. We've never had this conversation before, so when I do this podcast with these women and myself, I'm hearing these things for the first time. So it's really inspirational for me to hear your journey and your story. But if there was a mum who's kind of in your position, maybe she's also in university and she felt pregnant, or someone who wants to follow the kind of career path that you followed or start a community that you built, but just want some advice, what will be, one key advice in your opinion that you would give to somebody that is in your position?
Hmm. I think so. It's funny because one of the moms that was part of my group wanted to start her own group. And with the kind of, I need to keep it 100, with the kind of Instagram world that we have, a lot of people are competing against each other. And that is a big put off for someone to start anything, not even a support group or to do what I'm doing. To start anything, the social media puts you off, hands down. Um, One thing I would say is to let let your own personality shine through. Your message is different from anyone else's message. There's so many support groups out there, but no one has the same aim that Katie has. Do you see what I mean?
Mm.
You need to let whatever you're doing, let it be you. Let it represent who you are. And I think your determination as well is what will get you there, because it's not easy managing, work, a support group, your own life, even your own mental stability. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm just like, I think I'm losing it. I'm tired. I don't know what I'm doing. But you need to be determined and remind yourself constantly your why. Remember your why. Why did you start? Why are you continuing? Why are you changing? Like why, whatever your why is, remember it, write it down, big letters on your board if you have to. Um, but all of those things put together is what I would tell them, because it's very important not to get lost in the system. Everyone has drive at the beginning, but not everyone reaches their own aim.
Mm. Do you know what? It's good as well, and it's something that someone said to me was consistency. Because
That's
sometimes people start something and then if they don't see results straight away, they drop off. But
true.
you really have to stick at it, can be consistent. It might take a while, and before you know it, you're literally at where you need to be. And look, 7 years in the making, you started this group, how many years? How many years ago have you started this group now?
About 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, 3, 4 years ago, and you guys see where you are now, successful. You had your own conference which you had recently. Like you're literally moving on to bigger and better things, and it's all because you're consistent. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on and taking time out to speaking to me. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Katie.
Oh, I
Yeah,
really,
thank you. Sorry, I cut you off.
oh no, no, I said I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh, of course. And yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Make sure you follow Katie's social media pages. Please share your handles so if anyone wants to follow you, they can find you.
Thanks. So you can find us on Instagram at moms_pride team. But if you write Moms Pride, we also come up. We also have a website, www.momspride.co.uk. And you can send us a DM there or also on Twitter, Moms Pride Team. And we can also add you to the WhatsApp group if you send me a message with your number. Thank you.
Great. And yeah, now we'll have another episode releasing next Friday, so make sure you subscribe. We're available on all the music and podcast platforms, so make sure you subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks,
Thank,
Katie.
thank you so much. Take care.